Hi guys, welcome back to another reaction video and thoughts on Our Eyes, Your Eyes. I'm ready to watch episode 10 of Made in Abyss season 2, but before starting this video I just want to remind you to subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell if you'd like to support me, and feel free to follow in this super amazing adventure. Sorry for the delay, but I'm back and I'm ready to finish this great story season 2, hoping that there will be a season 3 or season 4. Let's see what's going to happen, because I know that the manga is going on, so that's really great. Okay guys, in the previous episode we understood that something is going to happen between Faputa and maybe Rico or Nanachi or Reg. Let's see what's going to happen. Are you ready to join me with these? Check it out. Exactly. Exactly, as much as I was telling you. Mm, I think so. Where do you have to go? Finally you understood. Come on, Nanachi, I think you have a great role in this story now. Ah, so he did that for this purpose. Oh no! Again, no, please. As for all the others. Oh no, no, look at this is a trauma that is repeating. Oh no. Yeah, but on the other side, she wants to save Rico and Reg, exactly. No, this is so bad. I mean, Nanachi's in the middle of a big decision. No. Wow. So is Mitty going to disappear? Yes. Absolutely. No way. Oh no. But look, for Nanachi, this thing is the fact that it's repeating over and over again is so traumatizing. Oh no, they. Why this story has to be this sad? Why? Oh my. So even Belaf is going to disappear. Wow. Whoa! So in this case, Belaf disappeared, but it's like as if he's living through Nanachi. But I agree with the Belaf's choice. I mean, he was definitely awake to say something like this. And to recognize that they are different, of course. Oh no. But Nanachi's coming now, so maybe she can solve things. But I don't want her to be in her exposition right now. No. Wow, she created a mess. Oh my, she keeps going ahead because of. Yeah, her intention is more important than anything else. Whoa! Oh no, 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 I don't want it to be a Reg right now. Because how can you stop her? You made a promise with her. And at the same time, on the other side, there's Rico. Oh, wow. Now she's going to destroy everything if nobody stops her. But who's going to stop her? Because I don't think that Reg has this resolution to do so. Because Reg is a pure heart, and when he made a promise, he couldn't go against it. So I really wonder what's going to happen now. The only thing that I can think is Nanachi. Yeah, it's a mess. Exactly. Yeah. Oh my Reg. But he keeps saying prince, okay? So this makes you understand that Reg's role is something beyond. No, no, he's free. I mean, Nanachi's free. Eh, it's hard. What? No, Nanachi's already safe, don't worry. Oh. Oh, yes, thank you. Let us remember too, because we wanna know. Okay, this is one of the interference unit, okay. Where do you come from, Reg? That's the first time they meet, right? Huh? He was talking in, I mean, he was speaking another language. No, because he wanted to save him. Because he's an interference unit too. Yeah. Okay. No, try to remember, Reg. Okay. Uh, we wanna know too why he forgot everything. Oh my! No, 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 Faputa! No! I mean, this could be useful, but at the no, 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 no! No, Faputa. You're making a mistake now. I hope Nanachi is coming really, really soon, please. Oh! Oh. So he called her Faputa. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh. Oh, okay. And he also learned the language. Because by being an interference unit, he was improving his skills. Yeah. Ah, finally we understand what the sosu means. Okay. Who's your mentor? No, 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 now we needed to understand. That's why she has them. Ma who's the mentor of her egg? Come on, Reg, don't you remember anything? Maybe after he uses the incinerator and he sleeps for 2 hours, he can remember something. Oh, no, no! What the F? No! He's going to be used by Rico, yes, thanks to Prushka, like in the previous episodes. No, please don't kill Faputa. Look, I think and I still believe that she can come with you somehow. No! Stone person. Ah, yeah, Prushka, okay, okay. But Prushka has to stay with Rico, so... Okay. Yes, she took Prushka that day. Yes. Yes. And in fact, they found themselves no matter what, because she was brought back to Rico, so... What the F? Well, look at the desperation of a Faputa right now is something brilliant. Huh? No, what are you going to do? Oh, what the F is that? What is he trying to do? Ah, the interference. Haku. Okay. Yes. Okay. And in fact, the three sacrifices. And the Faputa can go with them at this point, I'm pretty sure. Mm. Mm-hmm. The incinerator. Mm. And in fact, the next time he was using it was with Rico. Oh, I told you at that time that this was happening. Yes, is what I told you, that he was going to reach the top, the surface, and promising her that he would have been back. And now that he's back, but yeah, that's why now it's so hard. So you are a prince. Oh my! So now she has to join them. Because that was the main promise, y'all. Yes! Yes! You have to join! Thank you for this music. It's brilliant. So Faputa was waiting because the promise was that later she would have joined the Reg forever. So now there's the chance, y'all. Let's do it. Oh! Don't do that. Oh! No, let her join, please. No, no, no. No! What the F, Nanachi? Wow, guys. This episode was emotional, amazing, clarifying many points. This episode is connecting everything, so we finally understood much more about Faputa, as much as we discovered many things about Reg too. But before jumping right into these details regarding the relationship between Faputa and Reg, I wanted to focus really quick on Nanachi and Mitty, because the episode starts with this incredible relationship. It's not fading, it's not ending, and Yeah, first of all, I want to just say that finally we understood even the reason why Nanachi was there and Nanachi was sleeping, because it was a personal intention from Belaf. And I have to say that between these three sages, I told you since the beginning that my favorite one was Belaf. And I have to confirm it because in this episode we finally understand that Belaf was different than Vasukian, was different than even Weko, but was different even from the third other sage that is just a pure action without reason, let's say. Belaf throughout all this time made lots of mistakes by following Vasukian, by following his instructions, by following his orders to create this village. And at the beginning, he seemed to cooperate with these, but the more we went on with the story, the more we will understand that Belaf got his mistakes, understood that everything that he was doing was simply disgusting and was a repercussion to the entire village, especially to Irumyui and her relationship with Weko. So I have always liked the fact that Belaf admitted his mistakes, and he felt so guilty from the moment in which he decided to sacrifice his entire existence to the project of this village. And in this episode, he was able, throughout all that time, to influence Nanachi's mind too, because while she was sleeping, while she was, let's say, poisoned in that moment, she could understand Belaf's experiences, Belaf's smells, Belaf's memories, and it's thanks to all these things that now Nanachi has a totally different vision of the village, and she had her personal experience with a hollow, that in this case is Belaf, as much as Riko had her experience with Masang and all the others, and even Weko for sure, while Reg had his intimate experience with Faputa. So all of them are experiencing something with a specific character of this area of the abyss, and I really liked this thing because it makes you understand that no matter the character we are focusing on, their experiences with the layer of the abyss can be different from some point of view, but even the same from others. So I think that this experience of Nanachi, even if it's curving more and more throughout her feelings, was necessary, because at this point Nanachi could be ready to understand the village more, but she could even develop this courage to leave Mitty behind so much that it was totally different from her previous experience when she had to get rid of Mitty thanks to the incinerator, thanks to Reg in the first season. So I definitely think that Nanachi, thanks to all these experiences, she could develop a side of her character that was not possible to be developed without Belaf's help in this case. So I think that everything is a consequence of what we see, and these consequences are creating the development of characters that it's needed in order to go ahead with other adventures. Even when Belaf is saying, look, I did what I did because my time here is over. So if I have to leave parts of myself to somebody, I think that you, Nanachi, are the good one. You can be the one who's carrying all of my memories, all that I have experienced, because I love you guys. Look, I also love Belaf's character because he is really honest. Not just because he's recognizing his mistakes, but also because he's admiring someone who's totally different from what he was. And this acknowledgement can help even Belaf to step ahead, to decide to erase his existence by going outside of that membrane and to rest finally in peace. Because look, all that happened over there was causing him this state of unknown, this state of feelings that were digging his soul, and the way in which these feelings could make him feel guilty throughout all that time. I think that it's also thanks to Nanachi that he finally can go away and he can move on from that place, but even from the thoughts that he has always had. And as you can see, Nanachi throughout all these story, not just these episodes, but even before, even in the movie, even in season 1, this character was always helping others, and that's why I really like Nanachi as a character, because it's thanks to her that other characters can get rid of parts of their fault beings, like in the case of Belaf, but she can really be a resource of hope, like in the case of Rico, that she really wants to reach her goal. I mean, she's quite inspirational, and I totally agree for the fact that Belaf decided to relate to her and to leave her everything that could be essential for the rest of the story, because Belaf was a sage, so he is leaving to Nanachi not just his experience and the way in which he felt guilty and he felt depressed and whatsoever, but even all his knowledge. So it's something that Nanachi should be grateful of, especially for the fact that they are going to reach the deep side of the abyss, and probably without all of the knowledge that Belaf had, this could have not been possible. So as you can see, in order to reach the bottom of the abyss, you need somehow cooperation, you need the union of other beings, no matter the way in which they are unified to you, but the way in which many souls can create something beautiful in order to reach the goal, that's really necessary. That's something that in all stories that we have seen, it's an essential part in order to reach the end of the story. So I think that what happened here was simply awesome, but at the same time, while Nanachi is experiencing something great, that means this Belaf's legacy, or anyway everything that was representing Belaf. On the other side, we have even this problem that is affecting Nanachi, that is Mitty. Because Mitty right now, more than love, it's becoming something cruel, it's becoming a trauma, it's becoming something that she has to get rid of in order to move on. And most of the times, I already told you this even in other videos, but in order to get rid of someone or something really dear to you, you need to make a great step of recognition, but even to admit to yourself that the more you go on like this, the more you can't solve the rest of the things you have to solve. And the more it's difficult to create a separation, because you know that that person, you know that that object or whatever was so important to you, that was a part of your life. And when you have to separate from something like this, it's not easy. It takes time, and it takes even experience, because last time that Nanachi could get rid of Mitty was when she asked the Reg to do something for her because she couldn't do it. She couldn't even imagine to do everything by herself because that interruption of a relationship was like making her feeling a part of her heart dying. So it was something that she couldn't handle at that time. But this time, no matter how hard it was, she could make it because of the promise that she made to Mitty. That means we will see ourselves in another time, in another dimension. We will always be connected. So there's no way to be sad. There's no way to compromise this separation. So a little bit of more acknowledgement was deep inside Nanachi while making this decision. And while she's talking to Mitty like that, because of course she was created in the village, inside of the village, and if you go outside of the village you can't exist because that membrane was created in order to separate the outside of the abyss, the outside part of the abyss, with the inner part of this creation of the abyss that is Irumyui, that is mother. But I think, yeah, this time Mitty and Nanachi had a better separation, first of all, because Nanachi finally understood that she can't be stuck in the past and in the memories of the past, because she knows that the more she's going ahead like this, the more she can't move on, the more she can't go ahead with what her mission is for now. And on the other side, because if Mitty is staying there, she will keep remembering all the suffering that Mitty had to experience because of herself, because of Bondorudo, because of all the decisions that they were made. And in fact, even Nanachi is finding herself as a culprit because she's saying that she made Mitty suffering because it's thanks to Mitty that Nanachi could survive. So even this sense of guilt that she's feeling definitely doesn't make Nanachi live better, or doesn't make her feel good to see the conditions in which Mitty is because of her. So this trauma is affecting Nanachi so deeply. I really liked the way in which they are separating. It was simply emotional, but at the same time you understand the sadness of Nanachi while doing so, the depression, the sorrow, but even you feel the will of Nanachi to cut the ties of what happened and try to move on, also because while she's separating from Mitty, she's saying that she has learned new things, that she got in touch with new people that are helping her, that are treasuring her, and that they know Mitty too. So it's a way to say to Mitty that even if she will be gone, physically speaking, she's always in her mind, and she's always talking about Mitty to others, so she will never be gone forever. But it's just that she really needs not to have her in front of her eyes, because all this is creating a trauma, and this trauma is something that is affecting her so much that she keeps being stuck. And it's finally the time, because of her will, because she is doing it right now, to understand the limits and to go beyond them. The scene in which they are separating is simply awesome, guys. The way in which you see the dearest person in your life is disappearing in front of your eyes, but at the same time, this disappearance can create a sort of relief, because you're not having the trauma in front of your eyes always and always and always. I mean, this connection between a trauma and something dear to you, something you can't get rid of, but if you keep going on like this, you're going to suffer. These mixed feelings that are realistic, because even in our real world, we are stuck to the past, maybe. We are stuck to a dear person that it's gone. we are stuck to memories that we would like to erase but we can't. So all these realistic themes that are making Made in Abyss super amazing as a story, not just because it's an adventure, but it's it's a physical adventure because you're going from a top to bottom, but it's even a journey of feelings. I already told you this many times, and that's why this story is getting in touch with us and becoming one of the best stories. By the way, this getting rid of Mitty is also connected to a promise, because Nanachi promised to Mitty that no matter where they go and no matter how much separated they will always find a way to reconjunct. They will always find a way to stay back together. No matter if it will be in this existence or in another one, they will always find a way to reunify and to stay together. This was really deep, because it doesn't matter where you go, and it doesn't matter if your paths are going to be separated or interrupted, or the choices that you make will be different. If a relationship matters, it matters no matter the separations. And I think that Nanachi and Mitty's relationship was one of the best depicted here in Made in Abyss. But yeah, going 1 second back to Belaf, yes, I really admired his way to recognize that there are people different from him. There are people who made different choices than him and all the others in the village. That there is the opportunity to change things, and it's thanks to this opportunity that Belaf decided to let Nanachi carry everything he experienced, because by having this legacy they should not repeat the same mistakes they made, or actually he made. So I definitely think that this was something great to portray, because sometimes when we recognize our mistakes, it's also good to spread them to others, so the other people are well aware of what not to do, especially in the context that they are. And this was good, because it was like as if Belaf was saying to Nanachi, look what I did, look what I have become because of my decisions. Please don't do the same, because you can be tricked, you can be tempted by many other things in the Abyss, but if you are strong-willed and if you know what your real intentions are, you shouldn't be deceived. You shouldn't be tricked so easily as much as I was, because of power, because of discoveries, because of many other things. I mean, the good thing is that Belaf understands, finally there are people, or finally there are creatures who are totally different from us, and this is inspirational, this is something good, and it means that if you have hope that something can change or something can be different, that hope is repaying you with the demonstration that, yeah, there is something different than you for real, and maybe all these abyss can be closed or can be erased, especially because of this diversity, because by being different you can clean the abyss in a different way, as much as I was telling you many times, because even Rico is different from all the others who tried to climb down the abyss, and I think that it's thanks to her, it's thanks to her team, that things will be different in the abyss immediately after they will be able to climb it up again. So even when in the previous episodes, Vasukian, by explaining what happened to him and the rest of the villagers, he was spreading this concept of hope and the fact that probably someone is coming one day and things will be different. Even Belaf understood this, and the result is that it's for real. Something anyway is changing in the abyss. What happened to Nanachi was also something that is usual in anime, because there is always this contrast between illusion and disillusion. In fact, you could see that Nanachi, by talking to Mitty, she's saying, look, I was thinking that by staying here together and forever with you, things would have gone back to what they were before, when we were staying together all the time and before the tragedy that happened thanks to Bondorudo and his experiments. But this was just an illusion. To fall asleep by thinking that Mitty is always next to me, and by getting rid of the promises I made to Rico and Reg to stay together with them and to proceed the adventure together. It was like as if it's a beautiful dream. It's like those dreams that you're making in which you don't want to wake up because they are too good to be true. In these moments, you realize that when there is something too good to be true, there's something waiting for you that confirms you the opposite. And this process is called disillusion, because while you think that everything is so beautiful, that everything is so perfect, that you have everything you have always wanted, you need to remember that there is maybe something, an obstacle, or something reminding you that, yeah, it's too good to be true. You have to wake up and face reality, face what happened, and you can't get rid of the present just because you're stuck in the past. So this illusion versus disillusion is so powerful in this story, because let's say that even Rico can have the same problem somehow. I mean, she can be stuck to the illusion that she will be able to reach her mom, but what if she will not be able to? I mean, it's still a question mark. She will be able to reach Liza, yes or no? What's going to happen if it's no? What's going to happen if she discovers that she's dead? I mean, all these things are creating a sort of illusion, but then if something bad happened, you needed to face the disillusion. So I really think that Nanachi could get through this process, and she made it greatly, even if it was really painful, and it affected me too because I was crying. But I think that Nanachi is inspirational because of this, because there are moments in life in which you just have to face the truth, no matter if it's a good truth or a bad truth, especially if it's a bad truth. The way in which she's talking to Mitty and she's exposing her own thoughts about this illusion and disillusion, that was really nice, because she's opening her heart, but opening even her eyes. And this is something that many other characters in many other stories should do. The way in which Nanachi is talking about Mitty, the way in which she's praising her, she's recognizing her beauty, because no matter the condition in which she is, Nanachi can still feel the beauty of Mitty, because she is knowing that she lives inside that creepy creature that she became, that the essence is still there, that Mitty is not gone completely. She's just gone physically speaking because she transformed, but the core of Mitty is still so beautiful, and her eyes are depicting this great beauty. So the way in which Nanachi loves Mitty beyond appearances makes you understand that this relationship, that this friendship, this love, call it as much as you want, is far beyond any sort of imagination, any sort of definition. And everyone would like to have a friend like Nanachi, right? A friend that recognizes her mistakes, a friend that sometimes feels guilty because of her condition while the friend is in the opposite way. I mean, the perfect person that we would like to have next to us, and that's why maybe many people relate to her and love her so much. Personally, I think Nanachi is one of my best characters, my favorite characters in this story, because of her courage, because of her sadness, because she doesn't want to fake that it's not happening. I mean, she's crying, and it's something real, something that happens for real, and she's not denying these. No matter the words that are coming out from her mouth, she is crying no matter what. And then I wanted to talk about this value that she received. I mean, this value that corresponds to Belaf and his legacy, the value that represents even the other hollows that wanted to follow Nanachi, and creating this plate or this hat, because later it's going to become a hat on top of Nanachi's head. I really like this because it's something more or less something that I was telling you in previous episodes, when I was telling you that probably Nanachi, Rico and Reg, they will find a way to carry all these villagers outside of these village in another way, or probably they will find a way to take them with them, because that's the purpose. I mean, to release them from this village and to let them go away after all this infinite time in which they were waiting for someone to come and release them. This hope that never faded. Do you remember? I told you this a few minutes ago. So the way in which these villagers are becoming these valuable objects that are carried by these protagonists, I think this is an awesome idea, because no matter the fact that they are changing the state of what they are, I mean, they are changing the appearance of what they are anyway part of this adventure too, and this hope to get out from that membrane became true. In the case of Nanachi's hollows, I mean, the hollows that she was having surrounding her and Mitty while she was asleep was confirming these. So even the fact that Belaf decided to move on and to be part of this valuable object that now Nanachi is wearing, it's awesome, because it's like as if even Belaf is going ahead with the journey till the bottom of the abyss. That is something that they have always wanted to reach. Even if it's in a different way, anyway, it's a mission completed because they could make it. So I hope that even all the other hollows, even Vasukian and all the others, can maybe turn into something else and redeem themselves for their decisions first. And then, I mean, doing what Belaf did, but actually to be able to reach something else and to be part of the journey anyway. So they will be able, no matter the state in which they are, to reach the final goal and to understand that that hope that they had was not meaningless, was something that let them reach where they are or where they will be later after this adventure in this layer of the abyss, in this village. So, as you can see, no matter Irumiu's sacrifice, at the end of the day, what they really wanted can become true, even if everything was done on the shoulders of someone who didn't deserve that. That means Irumui. Okay, I told you that, yes, I have some notes, so if you're wondering why there is this noise, is because sometimes I'm looking down to see what I wrote in order not to skip anything. But yeah, even if at the beginning of this commentary I was telling you that it was a short part, that one of Nanachi, Belaf and Mitty, sorry, I was wrong, because the more I'm talking about it, the more I develop some other ideas, so just be patient and keep going on following me till the end of this commentary. But yeah, now I want to focus on Reg and Faputa. I really believe that in this episode everything was well described, well discovered, and it was everything so essential that I really liked it. First of all, I saw that there is even this other interference unit called Gabu that we discover being essential. Even when he first met Reg outside the membrane, do you remember? In that episode in which he was guiding Reg a little bit and he was saying, you can't stay here, it's better if you go back where you were, or something like that. I mean, we understand that this interference unit member became one of the reasons why the relationship of Faputa and Reg started. So as you can see in Made in Abyss, you have these great connectors that are becoming essential for the story and for the development of these relationships. And look, Made in Abyss is something crazy, because no matter the graphic, I mean, no matter the aesthetical way in which they are represented, these characters. On the other side, you have a story that is so deep, like the abyss they are digging. I mean, like the abyss they are trying to climb down, that you have never expected something like this. And that's why I like stories like this, because the more you dig, the more you discover. That's something unbelievably marvelous. But anyway, after all these episodes and after we discovered more about Faputa, Reg, we remember that he was in between, because on one side he had Faputa, who seemed to be so dear to him even if he doesn't remember, and on the other side he has Rico, a great fellow and a person that was definitely Haku for him. So we have these both sides, and I don't want it to be in Reg's position in this episode, but even in the previous one, because Reg is pretty kind. And he has always been kind to everyone, no matter if it was Faputa, Rico, Nanachi, Mitty, everyone, okay? Even Prushka. I mean, he was definitely spreading this kindness that was remarked even in this episode. But at the same time, he has always to make important decisions. So in this case, he decides to stop Faputa. So it's something really important. Great decision that was made, and it will compromise something anyway, or not. We still have to understand it, but at the point in which we were in the middle of the episode, we thought, oh no, look, he chose because he's choosing to protect Rico and all the others, also because later it's becoming really clear to us that Reg is considering Rico as a Haku, so he can't betray Rico for this, right? But at the same time, I can understand his feelings towards something that is unknown because he doesn't remember. That means Faputa and his connection to her. In the meantime, he's choosing to do something like this. Vasukian is repeating this thing of the prince that, yeah, even in previous episodes, I was discussing to you about the reason why Vasukian is talking to him, calling him prince. Is it because of his past state? That means his status was that of a prince, descending the abyss, trying to discover it, and then he climbed it up once again. Was he part of a tribe in which he was considered the prince as a real inhabitant of that golden area? I mean, or is it because it's related to Faputa, who's supposed to be the princess? So I was telling you many thoughts about this, but the fact that Vasukian is repeating this prince makes you understand or describes you the fact that Reg's position or Reg's role is super amazing, super important, super delicate, and I think really essential for the story more than ever. I think something like this, yeah. And then after he decides to do something like this, you understand that a sort of dialogue between Reg and Faputa starts, in which we are seeing this beautiful scene while they are talking in the present time, but everything is connected to some flashbacks from the past, and it's thanks to these intervals that you can understand the story completely, or maybe 80% of the story can be understood. I really like the way in which Faputa tries to protect herself all the times, because we needed to remember the reason why Faputa is destroying the village, is destroying the villagers, and is destroying even her own mom, or what her mom became. The reason why she's doing everything like this is explained almost at the end of the episode when, thanks to the flashback, she's talking to Reg and she's saying, look, I have to do something like this. First of all, because this is how I am. This is the creature that was born, and it's me, and it has this instinct to do something like this. So it's something that can't be refrained. And at the same time, also because she wants to help her mom by doing this. She wants to eradicate everything, so finally Irumyui can rest in peace and can't be used anymore by others. But at the same time, she wants to do something like this because no matter the fact that she knows that there's a culture evolving inside of this village, that there are new inhabitants and they are creating their own area, their own home, she can't get rid of what she is. The way in which she was born is something that can't be erased. It's a part of her nature, and her nature can't be changed because of other people's words or because of other people's intentions, actions, and whatsoever. She has that sort of mission that was even given, in my opinion, by Irumyui, because Irumyui was the first one who was suffering a lot, who was used a lot, and at the end she was able to create this final form of a daughter who could avenge her, right? But by avenging her was even asking her to let her rest in peace by destroying her too. So let's say that Faputa's role is really heavy, and her mission is something really cruel, that because she is asking herself to kill her own mother, so nobody wants to be in her position, right? But I can really understand the way in which she is behaving. I can really understand the way in which, yeah, she's protecting herself, because when Reg is trying to talk to her, the first thing she's saying is that, are you using your friend's problems right now to create an excuse to go against me? The way in which she doesn't want to be tricked by good words or something, I really understand her, because when you have passed lots of your life not trusting others, it's really hard to trust again, especially in the case of Faputa, that she was waiting for the moment in which Reg was coming back and save her, that the way in which she's seeing that he is against her right now feels as if the world is crashing under her feet, and it's really hard for her to say something like this, or to see that Reg prefers to help Nanachi now than help her, as much as the promise was. So if you analyze the psychology of this character, is a character that was betrayed somehow, that has a hard mission to fulfill, and it seems that nobody understands her. Nobody wants to put himself or herself in her position. So I understand that the closure that she's having around her, like a sort of a shield that is protecting her from all these threatening words or threatening behaviors towards her. I really like Faputa as a character. I think at this point that this will become a great advantage for the rest of the group. As much as I was telling you many times, I think that Faputa will join them, and she will be somebody great because her knowledge, because everything that she has experienced so far, or many other abilities that we still don't know about her, could be really inspiring and essential for the rest of the group anyway. Or even when Faputa is saying to Reg that Reg is interacting with her in that way because, in her opinion, he doesn't want to hurt her. So the way in which he's talking to her at the beginning, it's just, an excuse. Not because of Nanachi and because he wants to save her, but because he knows that he had to make a choice, and he had to choose between two people, like in the case of Rico, or two creatures in the case of Faputa, both important to him, even if on one side he doesn't remember. And then, Faputa is remarking this attitude of Reg of being too kind, because when he is saying to Faputa, look, I wanted to stop you anyway, I decided something like this because I have to save my friend, and if you can stop by yourself, that's great, but if you don't want, I have to stop you, because if you burn all this village, even my friend that is Nanachi is going to be a victim of it. I mean, it's going to die because of you, and I can't do something like this. The way in which he is too kind to tell her that he is going to stop her directly. Faputa is saying, look, in this case you're wrong. You're too kind to tell me these so directly and so honestly. You should surprise me by trying to kill me instead of saying it to me in this honest way. But that's how Reg is. I mean, he doesn't want it to be unfair. He wants to play fairly, and he tried his best throughout the episodes to remember, to understand why he has this amazing connection to Faputa, but he definitely can't, because something is stopping him from doing so. And that's why I think that Reg was even struggling with his own self to try to find the answer, but he couldn't. So I think that he feels guilty because of this, but at the same time he is impotent because he can't do anything to change things, rather than go ahead, make a choice, and let's see what's going to happen, because he tried everything. I mean, he tried all he could to remember, even if he couldn't. Let me tell you honestly, I really liked how Faputa's desperation was depicted here. I think that even the voice acting of Faputa made a great job, because of her voice that was underlining this desperation of Faputa, because Reg can't remember anything. Try to put yourself in Faputa's position for a second. I did it already. If you have a person that suffers from amnesia, even if that person is not guilty because of that, the other person is doing all her best to let him remember things, but he or she sees that he can't remember. I think that sometimes these people believe, even if it's not something good to say, that these people who don't remember are guilty, because people like Faputa, who are trying their best to let others remember, are suffering at the same time, because these people don't remember. And by not remembering, it's like as if they are erasing all the sacrifices that these people are making in order to help these people remembering. I can definitely understand Faputa, because she has always waited for this moment. She has waited for the moment in which Reg would have come back, would have saved her, would have understood her, would have understood how she felt, because she was understanding that Reg was finally the only one, except for Gabu, to understand her, to feel for her, to put himself in her position and understand how she really felt. That when she saw him back, she was like, oh my, he is back. So I'm not suffering alone anymore. I am not alone anymore. He promised me something, and he kept that promise. So if at the beginning she was enthusiastic because of that, as soon as she's realizing that he doesn't remember, no matter what he is trying to do, no matter what she is trying to do, that's depressing. I mean, it's like as if all your expectations, all your promises, all your dreams are falling apart. And this is something incredible. I mean, in this episode, I could feel Faputa's sadness and Faputa's expectations rolling down the stairs, as if everything is collapsing. I could really feel her intentions that were not cruel at all. They were just the ways in which Reg probably would have found the answer. Even if some of them, they were brutal, like when she was digging inside his body and attacking him from the inside because the outside was not working. Faputa was not cruel to him. She was just desperately trying to find a way to reach him, to reach his heart once again as much as before, but she couldn't. So let's say that it's even humiliating to keep asking to remember something that she remembers but he doesn't. And Yeah, it's like as if all her dreams were gone. We don't even know how many years Faputa suffered, because the more you climb down the abyss, the more there is this extension of time. And it means that maybe centuries have passed in which she was there waiting for Reg coming back. But okay, I will analyze that scene later because it reminds me something mythological too. But it was so well described that it caught my heart, definitely. Finally, we have the chance to go back in the past, as much as I was telling you, because finally Faputa is telling us, viewers, what happened, because Reg anyway can't remember. So finally we are entitled to understand what was going on. So Faputa one day was protected by Gabu, that is this other interference unit. And Gabu was attacked by a creature, by this entity. And Faputa was not protected anymore by anybody because Gabu was injured. So she felt hopeless. She felt as if she was feeling alone because Gabu was gone, let's say, and he couldn't contact the Faputa anymore. So in that specific moment of desperation, when everything seems to be over, here we go. This is Reg appearing. We see Reg appearing as if he is the hero of the situation, the hope that things can be different, as much as when the villagers were hoping that something in the abyss was changing so they could go out again after the moment in which they climbed down the abyss. So this recurrent theme of hope that things are changing is going ahead over and over and over again. But anyway, yeah, Reg here seems like the person who's going to save you, the one who you can rely on, because you know that salvation arrived. But Faputa recognizes the fact that Reg is speaking another language. And this language is strange, don't you think? Because if I'm not wrong, this is the same language spoken by Irumyui. And in fact, even Irumyui, when she tried to talk to Vasukian, Belaf, and all the others before descending the abyss, she was speaking a language that was not the same. And I think that that's the same that Reg was speaking. So I open a bracket. What if Irumyui and Reg were relatives, or anyway, they knew each other? Because by speaking the same language, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below here, guys, but if they are related, we understand why Faputa is connected to Irumyui, because it's her daughter. But at the same time, we understand also the reason why Faputa is trying to have a connection with Reg, because maybe the roots are the same. I mean, what if Reg climbed down the abyss because he, as much as Irumyui and the village that was living around the abyss at that time, decided to climb down the abyss, and then he found something else over there deep down the abyss. He lost his memories, or maybe he doesn't even remember. I mean, at the time in which he is meeting Faputa, what if he already didn't remember anything from the past? Do you understand what I mean? Maybe something in the abyss happened that turned him into an interference unit by somebody else. But before that moment, he was having another past life, maybe at the top of the abyss, on the surface, as much as the villagers of Irumyui, etc., before descending the abyss. So yeah, I was thinking, what if Reg and Irumyui, they were relatives, or they were acquaintances? I mean, they knew each other, but they have never had something in common. I mean, they were belonging probably to the same village, but they had two different destiny, and in fact they had. But that's what I'm saying. As soon as I heard Reg talking in that language, I was like, oh, wait a second. And also because Reg, as I told you many times, resemble these natives that are on the surface of the abyss at that time. So, yeah, maybe Reg, before becoming this interference unit, forgot something that happened before. Reg decides to help Faputa and Gabo, even in that moment you see that Faputa is reluctant to be helped because she doesn't know him. So if she doesn't know him, she can't trust him, and he has to gain her trust. And he did that because they were spending time together. He was really kind to wait that Gabo was feeling better in order maybe to move on or to go ahead with his adventure. I don't know, but you see that the typical characteristics of Reg are all there. He is kind, he is patient, he is helping others. I mean, he is the Reg we know. So in that moment in which he already is an interference unit, he is really curious to know more about others and other cultures and whatsoever, and that's why he's learning the same language of Faputa. But at the same time, we can still wonder, was he someone good before becoming an interference unit, or was he somebody else? Was he an inhabitant of the Golden City or not? Was he descending from the top of the abyss or not? Anyway, there are still great question marks about this character, but we can already detect something. Why Faputa decided to trust Reg is also because he is an interference unit, as much as I was saying, because he was really curious, because she knew that somehow he resembled Gabo in some things, and even in fact, even in previous episodes, Gabo is confirming that he is an interference unit, even if he is a little bit different from all the others. He has this great power in particular that makes him different, etc, etc, etc. So the fact that even Gabo confirmed to Faputa that he is an interference unit makes you understand that she can trust him, also because Faputa can trust interference units only. She can't trust anybody else. But the fact that he forgot all these makes Faputa frustrated, makes her angry, desperate, and in fact in this episode you see the announcement of all these feelings that, yeah, look, they really made it. The way in which Faputa is crying and she is making this expression with her teeth, with her mouth, by underlining the way in which she can't believe she's not remembering anything. It's like as if you're talking to a wall that can't respond as much as you like. It's something that makes you feel angry too, because you feel sorry for Faputa because she remembers everything, and how is it possible that she can't? Plus, he is not remembering the way in which she's behaving, the way in which she is repeating Sosu. Especially because after she's trying to punch him from the inside, and to go inside his body because she's really fast and she's trying to wake him up, but she can't. Reg is saying something that helped Faputa remembering what he told her already. That means, look, you are supposed to be a princess, so you should be more graceful. You should have more grace in the actions you're making. And after she heard something like that, she felt even more angry than before, because she is like, come on, you don't remember that you told me this in the past too? You don't remember why do I say Sosu? It's like as if she is hopeless right now. Even if throughout all these maybe centuries, she was feeling hope. So it's like as if all her world is turning upside down, referring to Reg. We also know, finally, that Faputa, that this name comes directly from Reg, because Reg told her that you are Faputa. And Faputa, in the language they speak while Reg is training, etc., etc., means the princess that never perishes. That means an immortal princess. But this word Faputa came out from Reg. So it's like as if he was giving her name to her. And it's even more important. I mean, it makes Reg in front of her eyes a more important character, a more important person that she has to take care of, that he is so dear to her also because of this. And the way in which you see this contrast between the desperation of this present time with the happiness of the past moments in which you see Faputa that is always smiling, that is always happy, that she's running around the Reg, that she feels as if she found someone that is not afraid of her and someone that she can trust. Someone that is always next to her, that is not going anywhere. I mean, you see the difference or the contrast, not just between sadness and happiness, but even loneliness and friendship. This beautiful relationship that suddenly was destroyed because of all the circumstances, because one day Reg decided to go. And maybe that departure was seen by Faputa as a goodbye, as a separation, as something that she didn't want to trust, but at the same time she had hope to trust it. Because, come on, that was Reg, the same Reg that stayed with her all that time. So how she could not trust him in that moment too. But you also know that if there is a separation, nothing can go back as before, because after that separation, both characters are developing feelings, experiences that are making them become different from before. So nothing can stay as before. Things are changing. And that's why maybe Faputa was so afraid to leave Reg, to let him go, that she needed something as a proof that he would have been back to her, that things could have also stayed the same if there was something called promise that could let them stay together no matter the distance, or that they can be connected by this in order to keep something even in the present time and not just something that was part of the past. And that's why this promise was made, guys, because try to put yourself in Faputa's position once again. You are all by yourself. There's just a Gabu on your side. You have never experienced to meet somebody else before. And now that you feel happy, now that you feel that you are having fun with this person, now that you know more about things thanks to this person, now that you are exchanging experiences, languages, and many other things, now that you are instructing Reg by speaking the same language, now that you are collecting memories with him, and now when he says that he has to go, what do you have to do in order to keep him next to you anyway? You make a promise. You wish for something that will be back. Otherwise, everything you have experienced so far, it could turn into a disillusion. Yes, this is what Faputa is experiencing right now, because maybe she felt as if there was this illusion that Reg would have remembered, that Reg would have come back as before, that Reg would have remembered everything that he has promised to her. But then, now she has in front of her eyes this disillusion because he doesn't remember. It seems that nothing that they have experienced together was real. It was like, an illusion. So we should understand more about Faputa's anger also because of this. And that's why I really believe that when she will join Reg and all the others, she will feel pleased. She will feel as if it was not something unreal, it was not an illusion, it was a reality. Because Reg will keep his promises to her. And this will be awesome. But okay, let's go ahead. After we discover about this creation of the name Faputa and where does it come from, we also hear that Faputa is saying, or Gabu is saying, look, it's like those people who are passing throughout occasion, that means randomly, not usually, but rarely, let's say, they have this stone person or person stone or something like that. Guys, now we understand another important thing, because this white whistle, I mean, we discovered it even before, but this white whistle contains a person that is put inside this stone, that is created as a stone. We knew this even before with Bondorudo. I mean, there was a slight explanation of this. And later it was explained even better. But now I have a question. Liza has a white whistle. I mean, Liza is a white whistle. And you know that now this white whistle is carried by Rico. She just doesn't have a Prushka, but she also had Liza's white whistle. This white whistle wasn't able to be used because, of course, each white whistle is connected to the owner in a special way. And in fact, Prushka, who is Rico's white whistle, is deeply connected to Rico because of everything that happened in the movie. Now my question is, Liza's white whistle means that this white whistle was a person before. So who is Liza's white whistle? Because I don't think that they explained this to us. Now, especially in this episode, we understand that all the white whistles are people in a stone. They are called person stone. So now I'm wondering, who is the person inside Liza's white whistle? Because this makes me crazy. What if Liza saw someone being killed as much as a Prushka? Who is that person? I really want to know, because this can open another big chapter of Liza's background story, and the reason why that person became a white whistle, what happened, etc., etc., etc. So these are great question marks, but definitely what we experienced in this episode made you understand that behind Liza's past experience, there are many other things that are unsolved, and this is what I love, sincerely. And then finally we understand the meaning of sosu, because in the previous commentary I was wondering, what does that mean? Is it like as if you're saying a treasure or my dear or something like that? I mean, a polite word. And actually it means something like this. I mean, sosu is something graceful, something really polite, something kind that you put after each sentence, because Gab is explaining that in Hirumiui's language, that is even Reg's language at this point, sosu means this, means my dear, or something really kind, something really nice to hear, right? And she started using sosu to make Reg a favor, because even in that case, Reg asked her to be more graceful. By being a princess, by being Faputa, she should be more kind, more polite, right? And this makes you understand that everything that the Faputa is doing is just a reflection of Reg's requests. Even this symbol of a friendship that Reg was giving her in order to make a sort of a connection with an object. And it's like as if he was making her a gift in that moment. She's still wearing those symbols of a friendship. So as you can see, Faputa is doing everything in her best way to let Reg remember things, but he doesn't. She's using sosu. She keeps using the name he was talking about, that means Faputa. She's wearing these symbols of a friendship, but everything is useless because he doesn't remember. So she feels betrayed of all these because she kept all her promises. She was there waiting for him, she was wearing these symbols, and maybe she found that those symbols were not just friendship for her. Maybe it was like an engaged ring for her, okay? But anyway, she's using even the word, a proper word, to be more kind, as he requested, but it's not enough because he's not remembering. So I definitely feel her desperation. There is one sentence that Reg is saying while she is instructed by him, and this sentence is, my mentor told me that it's important to use this word, blah blah blah. I mean, he was talking about something that somebody else told him. So who is Reg's mentor? Is Liza Reg's mentor? Is somebody else? Is maybe, oh look, can you imagine, guys, for a second, if Reg's mentor is Irumyui? I mean, can you imagine? Because Irumyui came deep down the abyss before. Because at that time, if Faputa was already born, it means that Irumyui was already descending the abyss many, many, many centuries before, right? Because there is the dilatation of time, the distortion of time, right? So what if the mentor of Reg was Irumyui? Because if they belonged to the same village, and if they belonged to the same native population on top of the abyss, I mean on the surface, wow. I mean, can you imagine right now, in that flashback, Reg, that maybe had this inferiority towards Irumyui, is talking to Faputa, who is Irumyui's daughter. That would be a circle that is amazing. I don't know who this mentor can be, but anyway, maybe is somewhere related to the natives, because even in tribes of natives populations, there was a mentor. I mean, there was a sage figure, and everyone had to follow this mentor. Everyone had to follow this important person in the village. So what if this important person in the village is Irumyui? Or in the other case, what if this mentor is Liza, because this mentor told Reg to do something for her, in this case, to ascend the abyss, to find Haku, and to bring Haku back inside the abyss. So if we are talking about a probable mentor that maybe taught Reg many, many other things, that could be Liza. Or is it somebody else that we still don't know? Let's see. But anyway, this is awesome. When, yes, going back to these symbols of a friendship that Reg is giving to Faputa, Faputa is saying, look, this smells like you. Is she referring to Reg? I mean, the symbols that are smelling like Reg? Or maybe the symbols that are smelling like Irumyui? Because even Irumyui belonged to this same village, to this same tribe of natives. And of course, Faputa, by being her daughter, she can sense the same smell of her mom. Can you imagine? I mean, I don't remember. Yeah, wait a second. Does Irumyui have the same symbols around her body when she's descending the abyss with the Genja group? I don't remember right now. I have to go back and check it. But anyway, now I have a sort of flashback in which I think that I saw Irumyui with the same symbols around her belly or around her body. Am I wrong? Am I saying something stupid? Okay, anyway, I will go back and check it. But anyway, it seems as if everything is connected between these three characters, and this would be amazing. Anyway, Reg doesn't remember, so he's going to face Faputa no matter what. Faputa at this point is super angry that she's even saying, how can you, that means Rico, I think, put Prushka against me now. Because later, as much as I was predicting in many episodes before, but we discovered that Faputa was the one who helped Prushka to shine, to have helped Prushka to become this beautiful stone that she is. And thanks to that stone, now Rico can use this immense power that can help Reg to become even more powerful than before, thanks to the cask that is changing the color from black or bluish to white. It's like, yes, as if Reg now is the tool that Rico can use thanks to the white whistle and its noise that it's producing. So Faputa is feeling betrayed once again, because even if she's saying that she was testing this relationship between Rico and Prushka, she was the one who was helping Prushka to be modified and become even better than what she was before. Because from Rico's point of view, or anyway, from Rico's knowledge, there was no meaning to modify Prushka, because from Rico's point of view, that was Prushka. I mean, once she became the white whistle, she was staying like that. She didn't even imagine that she could have been modified and being even becoming better or more helpful for Rico and all the others. So it's thanks to Faputa that everything like this could happen, right? But by saying this, to me, it's like as if Faputa is betrayed once again, because she was making this a favor to Rico and all the others, and this is the way in which she's treated. I mean, everything goes against her once again. Yeah, look, I totally understand this character of Faputa. She is betrayed, as much as her mom was betrayed and used. Both Faputa and Irumyui were used because of their kindness, because they were trusting others, and then these others were going against them. I mean, it's like as if everything is repeated, seems to be like this, until, of course, there is that beautiful moment in which, thanks to the flashback, we understand the main promise, but even when Reg is crying later, confronting Faputa, because there is this disclosure of feelings that is super amazing. I mean, when Faputa is saying that she was testing Rico and Prushka, it was a way for her to understand if this relationship could have been real. Because Faputa understood since the moment she saw Rico getting in touch with the other hollows, and even Reg getting in touch with Rico, she immediately got the fact that Rico was Reg's Haku, because of the way in which he was talking to her, but also because before Reg going ahead with his adventure and leaving Faputa behind, he was saying, I'm going to reach the top of the abyss to try to find the Haku and then go back down the abyss once again and come back to you. So of course, when she saw that Rico was there, she thought, okay, that's a Haku. Definitely has to be something like this, right? And by knowing that Reg told her, look, when I will come back, I really believe that even Haku will help you for your destiny and your condition. So now that she's seeing that Haku, that is Rico, is using Prushka against her, she's saying, well, look, what did I believe so far? Because I was always believing in Reg's words, but if this is the result, I feel betrayed. In this episode, Vasukian is not essential, as much as for the previous episodes, but at the same time we see that Vasukian is trying to protect all the hollows, because at a certain point when all this discussion between Reg and Faputa is collapsing, there is this iron rain starting descending, and this scene was really memorable in my opinion, because this rain is made of a fire too, and it's like as if it's bringing the end of something, and in fact this iron rain is affecting the villagers, but even the village itself, because it's part of the last stage of Faputa's mission, that is to get rid of her mom, to destroy the village, to destroy the villagers, etc, etc, etc. But at the same time, Vasukian is protecting all of them. So, as much as I was telling you in previous episodes, yeah, Vasukian did something really terrible, let me tell you. And some of you were also saying to me that he was forced to do something like this because surviving is the most important thing. And when you are hopeless and you don't know anything to do anymore, you are even risking the lives of others in order to survive. You and all the others left. So some people were trying to understand the Vasukian. I tried, but let me tell you honestly, I still don't like what he did. But in this case, he was trying to rescue all of these hollows from this rain that was affecting them and the village itself. Also because if the village is destroyed, Vasukian too is going to be destroyed. And his dream to wait for someone to come and rescue them and probably to give them one last chance to reach the bottom of the abyss would have been gone. So we needed to check Vasukian's character in many ways, definitely, and at the same time we can try, even in this case, to understand him a little bit, try to excuse him for everything that he has done, and from some other point of view, no. Look, I can't. If I still remember the way in which he was emotionless when he was talking to Wek about Irumyui, this facial expression that was depicting no emotions. I know that probably he was using those faces in order not to let Weko feel worried about everything that was going on. I mean, this usual poker face that people have to wear when there is something uncomfortable to explain or something that could not be processed or accepted because it's too hard to accept, yes. But anyway, yes, I recognize even this point of Vasukian that is trying to protect everyone in that moment in which this rain is falling. But this scene is also connected to the flashback in which we understand once again more about the relationship between Reg and Faputa at the end of the episode. And in this final flashback, you see that, of course, Faputa is engaged to Reg somehow because she definitely feels connected to him. And at the same time, she is explaining the meaning of a haku. That is the most precious thing that you have in your life. In the case of Faputa, she says that she can have 3 haku because she was born thanks to the 3 eggs, do you remember? So she has, of course, her mom as a haku. She has Gabu as a haku, but even at this point Reg is her haku. I think it's her final haku probably. That's why by explaining something like this, she's also saying that she can't go inside her mom anymore, because no matter if that's one of her haku, she is like a child that is given birth, and he or she can't go back to the womb of her or his mom. So I really like this thing, guys, this metaphor that was used in order to explain that Faputa, thanks to her mom's will, has to go on without her. I mean, it's like as if the mother that is giving birth, right? And when a mother is giving birth, it's like as if it's her way to say that her child has to go, has to start an independent life. Because she or he was carried inside of the womb of a mom for 9 months, but then once the baby is out from her belly, he or she has to start his or her own journey. He or she has to be independent. That's what Irumyui wanted for Faputa, in my opinion. Because Irumyui wanted that Faputa was created, that Faputa could have gotten rid of her and the village in this case. And that's why even Irumyui didn't want her to join, to go inside that village, to go inside her mom once again, because she's something different. She doesn't belong to that village that betrayed her. Faputa is the resemblance of Irumyui. She resembles her, and she resembles also all her expectations, all her dreams that couldn't come true. And now Faputa has the chance to replace her mom in this, so she can't go inside her, and that's why she was kept aside always, and she couldn't go through the membrane because her mother, I think, wanted to protect her, but at the same time wanted to tell her, you have to go on without me. You have to start your own journey. You have to be something else, something that I couldn't be. And that's why Irumi was relying on her. All the dreams that couldn't come true, all the expectations, but even in this case, Faputa feels betrayed by Reg and all the others. So I can really understand, and it's so beautiful, this metaphor of the mother that is saying to the child, you have to go. You can't go back inside of me. You are something else. You are something independent. And at the same time, Faputa is also explaining that the symbol of the person upside down, see? That was even remarked on her drawing in one of the first episodes, when of course she stole Prushka, and in the meantime she left that code message to them. That symbol that even Gabu has, that there is even outside of that cave, let's say, means Haku. But if you remember, when she was drawing all the things, Nanachi had a scratch here, if I'm not wrong, Reg didn't have anything, and Rico had that symbol. That means that in that moment she recognized, as much as I was telling you, that Rico was Haku, that was what Reg promised. That means I will be back with Haku, and we will decide about your destiny, we will help you about your destiny, and we will help you to get rid of all these. At the same time, Faputa is also explaining to Reg what's her mission in that flashback. She's explaining that she has to get rid of her mom, etc, etc. And then there is the moment in which Reg, thanks to Faputa's question, is explaining that yes, he has this ability to rewrite things, and it's thanks to the incinerator, but now he can't use that incinerator in that flashback because he says, I don't know when there will be the moment in which I will be able to use it again. We know that after that flashback, sincerely, we don't know when he used the incinerator once again. Was it when he first met Rico in episode 1, after everything that happened? Because Rico is a Haku, so this incinerator is activated once the Haku is recognized by Reg? Or was Reg available to use the incinerator even after leaving Faputa with other adventures before reaching the top of the abyss? We don't know this still, but this would be more coherent to me if the incinerator can be activated thanks to Haku, when he was able to reach Haku, that is Rico. Also because we understand that Gabu's Haku is Faputa, as much as for Reg, Reg's Haku is Rico. So while Gabu is able to help Faputa when she needs, because Gabu has this mission to protect Faputa no matter what, at the same time Reg has this same mission to help Rico or to rescue Rico every time she's in danger, so this power is activated. But anyway, Reg is also saying, I have to climb up the abyss, I have to find Haku because someone told me that something had to be done like this. Are we talking about the same mentor? Are we talking about Liza, that is Reg's mentor? Are we talking about someone else deep down the abyss who ordered Reg to go and get Rico? In fact, do you remember that in one of the first episodes of season 1, something had to be deciphered, but it seemed not to be Liza's handwriting, but somebody else's? So what if someone pretends to be Liza, but she's dead? Or maybe, yeah, in that moment, that mentor was somebody else, and Reg, once he climbed little by little the abyss, he could met Liza, and as a coincidence, the Haku of Reg and Liza's expectations, that means help me to get Rico deep down the abyss. It was a coincidence because the two things collided for one time. So that's why we are making a confusion. Maybe Reg's mentor is not Liza, or he is not doing this for Liza, but he is doing this for both people, for the mentor of Reg, but even for Liza. And the thing that they have in common is the person they have to get down the abyss, that means Rico. That's what I was thinking. Now the promises are starting. Reg is promising that he is climbing up the abyss. He is finding Haku. He is coming back to Faputa. He will rescue Faputa. He will help Faputa. And then look, Faputa at this point, he is asking him to marry her in a certain way, because he is asking him to create a family, to have kids together, etc., etc. But in that moment, Reg is stopping her and is promising something even more important. He is saying that their hands will never be separated anymore. That is a great promise. And he's promising her another important thing, that means to go on adventures always together. So this time she will not be left aside alone. She will be part of the journey. So that's why I'm thinking that she will definitely join the group, guys. There is not a doubt about this anymore. But at the same time, yeah, I wanted to open a bracket because these guys reminds me of the Ulysses of Homerus. I mean, if you have read the Greek mythology, you know that Homerus wrote about Ulysses, I mean about the Odyssey, in which Ulysses was a man that was going on adventures while Penelope, that is his wife, was staying at home waiting always for him to come back. And yes, it reminds me something like this, because Faputa considers already someone dear to Reg, like a wife that is waiting for him to come back, like a girlfriend or someone, anyway, important, while Reg is going on innumerous adventures that can cause him to lose his life too. Then, anyway, he's back as much as Ulysses. No matter how much time for Penelope it takes to stay there, be patient, and wait for him to come, at the end of the day, Ulysses was coming back. And Reg is doing the same. No matter how many centuries have passed, no matter how many years have passed, Reg is back. So he kept that promise. And at the same time, she is seeing that everything is going against her predictions, because Reg is going against her, Rico, there is the Haku is going against her, everyone wants to go against her, and she can't fulfill the mission. It's like as if, all her dreams, all the moments in which she was waiting, all the patience that she was using in order to wait were meaningless. And in fact, while she's waiting, throughout all the time that she's waiting, you can see through Faputa's face the desperation, the way in which this patience is also consuming her heart, consuming her feelings towards Reg, so much that she is even creating this doll of Reg made of stones, because it's her way to wait for him. It's like as if she's creating something to describe that no matter if he's not there, in her heart, he is there. It's like a Penelope in the Odyssey. She's waiting, and even if there are days, months, and years in which she has to wait there patiently, sometimes these waiting moments are the worst ever, because you don't know if you have to wait forever, because you don't know how much it will take. You don't know if you could trust this person telling you this for real or not. You don't know if he will die, and you will never know. I mean, I love Faputa's character, because I would have never been able to do something like this, so I really admire her. no matter what's going to happen now, because now that Reg is crying, and you see there's a beautiful connection between her tear and his tear, that is a tear of sadness, a tear of pain because of all that is happening. Oh, this is awesome. Look, guys, for all the tears that she was spreading throughout the centuries, as much as the tears of Reg because he feels guilty because he doesn't remember. I mean, he remembers small things, but not the most important ones. Amazing. Look, this tear that is connecting these two. That is even maybe the tear of the promise. Yes, this promise is described as a tear for all the tears, for all the moments in which she was crying as much as he was crying throughout these adventures that he made. And also the tears that he is having on his face right now that are connecting to her face. Wow. These stories on another level. But at the end of the episode, we see that anyway, Faputa can't betray her nature, and she has to go ahead with her mission. And Reg doesn't even know that now Nanachi is free. So Nanachi will be back for sure. In the next episode, probably we will see her in action, or she will talk. I mean, Nanachi will talk to Faputa. I still believe that Nanachi has a great role in Faputa's life too, and probably she can understand Faputa more than any other, because she was also rescued by Reg and Rico, so she can explain to Faputa that she can still be saved by Rico and Reg if she stops destroying that village, or if she is trying to find together with them a way to turn them into something valuable, as much as Nanachi did, or as much as for what happened to her. This village, no matter if it will be destroyed, there will be something related to it that makes this village immortal anyway, and they can go all together to the bottom of the abyss. This could be amazing. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for joining me in this long, infinite commentary. And see you next time with episode 11, with the second to last episode of this second season of Made in Abyss. I can't wait to see what's going on. Thank you so much for the support. Keep subscribing to the channel and click on the notification bell. Bye, guys. See you in the next video.